super tough. But even these ultra-tough blades last only 90 minutes before they need to be replaced.
There are 108 steel rods to strengthen these ties that go through the length of the form. With 18 rods per tie, every time that blade comes down, it cuts through them. You see the edge of that blade is red hot. To keep it cool and the dust down, they spray it with water. Once they've made the cut, they have to get the ties out. Just like popping a cake out of a baking tray. Here's how they do it. Bam! There's the railroad tie. It's like a nice, warm piece of birthday cake. And that, my friends, is what makes the Acela run so smooth.
Though only 10% of rail ties in America are made of concrete, their share is growing by the day, especially along the Northeast Corridor.
Let me ask you this, Bill. What's it like to go from running the train 125 miles an hour, you get off work, and you get into your car and you have to drive down the Interstate 65?
I still have a little heavy foot.
Speeding tickets?
I've got a few of those too. You know, like you say, you're doing 125 predominantly all day long, and you get in your car and you seem like you're standing still.
Operating this Acela train isn't for everyone. You have to have nerves of steel to do this. As we blast along at 135 miles an hour, the fastest train on the continent.
It's 11 a.m. and we're making incredible time, which is good because we're heading to America's busiest rail station in one of the world's biggest cities. And for the Acela riders, time equals money. We cannot afford a delay. I'm barreling up the Northeast Corridor on the fastest train in America, Amtrak's Acela Express. Right now, we're about 70 miles south of New York City, on our way to Boston, and it feels like we're flying.
I was flying into to D.C. yesterday, and I could see this line, and I could see an Acela train on it, and the plane was beating it, but it wasn't beating it by that much.
Really?
Yeah, that was impressive just to see it from that angle. Gives you an idea how fast these things really are.
Although the flight time between Washington and New York is about an hour, the Acela is still the fastest way to get door-to-door from downtown D.C. to downtown Manhattan.
Most of your airports in the area of New York are outside the city, so you got to take a cab or a bus or subway or something. The train takes you right into New York City.
Though air travel has soared in popularity over the past 30 years, the Northeast Corridor track system has been around since the 1830s. At first, many small railroads operated the rail lines between cities. But consolidation beckoned. By 1885, the Pennsylvania Railroad had swallowed up over 800 smaller lines and emerged as the most powerful railroad in the country. At its height, the PRR controlled 10,000 miles of rail and was the largest public corporation in the world. The Pennsylvania Railroad's success was powered by steam locomotives. To see what the PRR's workers had to do to keep steam locomotives moving, there's no better place to go than Steamtown.
Between the 1830s and 1950s, the United States produced over 177,000 steam locomotives. Burning coal heats water that creates steam that powers the locomotive. Everyone's seen those black and white movies with steam billowing out of the locomotive. Well, all that's coming out of the smoke box.
And one of the most important jobs on a steam locomotive is keeping the smoke box clear. If the smoke box isn't clear, the steady flow of steam will slow and the engine won't run.
This is a collection point for the exhaust coming from the firebox and the used steam that comes up through the cylinders. And it gets exhausted right up through the smokestack.
And that makes the chuff, chuff, chuff sound.
Right.
The harder the engine works, the more it chuffs and louder it
Right.
gets.
And the more it drafts your fire.
Keeping the steam flowing is called drafting. Steam locomotives only work when there's a constant flow of steam to power the pistons.
If you ever wondered what the nose and the inside of a steam locomotive looks like, you're about to find out right now. It smells like my brother's old apartment in there. Whew. If they didn't have this screen, the bigger cinders would get through, the really huge ones go through the smokestack, and it'd be just like a missile. cause a forest fire, or even burn somebody's house down if it hit their house.
When used steam leaks through the smokestack, a vacuum is created in the smoke box. This vacuum sucks new steam from the boiler into the smoke box, keeping the steam moving and the engine running.
That is one heck of a chimney there.
The next step would be to hose it out.
Okay. All right, this looks like it's the hose, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just kind of... Whoa. Oh! Sorry about that.
I think you did a good job.
Thanks. Well, the next thing for you to do is to climb in there on your belly, give it an inspection.
Belly down and inspect the entire smoke box.
Well, that doesn't sound like something that I'm qualified to do. So you know what? I'll let you have at it. I'm out of here.
I'm going in.
All right. Good luck.
Today, trains on the Northeast Corridor don't run on steam, they run on electricity. But maintenance is still the railroad's biggest priority. There are thousands of miles of electric cable running up and down the coast. And all of that cable needs to be maintained. That's where Amtrak's catenary maintenance crew comes in. Each catenary carries over 12,000 volts of electricity, so before any work can be done, the power needs to be cut off. Amtrak can't afford to cut off the power on the entire route, so a network of insulators separate the line into smaller sections. These insulators are built to stop the flow of electricity between sections of cable. So the power can be shut off in one section for work to be done, while trains continue to run along the rest of the line.
Each section is separated by an insulator. That way workers can come out, they can work on a section of the catenary without getting electrocuted.
If the insulators fail, there'd be nothing to stop the flow of electricity into this section of catenary, and that could result in electrocution. This insulator needs changing, so these guys can do their job and get home in one piece. And keeping the insulators in shape is vital to maintaining these wires, so the Acela can run as quickly and safely as possible.
They change the insulator, they flip the switch, the lines are hot, the job's done. You have to be a train nut to work on these trains, there's no doubt about it.
It is a job where you have to like what you do.
And you know what? It's pretty darn cool to say, I've run the fastest train on the continent. I'm an Acela engineer. How many people can say that?
Amtrak's looking for engineers. Put a resume in, you might be able to get this job.
Now we're about to take the plunge. This tunnel goes under the Hudson River and into the Big Apple.
Next stop, New York, under the Hudson into Penn Station.
This tunnel, known as the North River Tunnel, opened in 1910. Today, it operates at almost 100% capacity during peak hours. And while the tunnel has seen thousands of trains in its lifetime, it's never seen anything as fast as the Acela.
We're under the Hudson River right now. How far does the tunnel go?
Roughly 3 miles long.
Wow, 3 miles under the Hudson River. And this tunnel is tight. Barely enough room for us to fit through here.
I don't know what we're going to do when a train comes the other way.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel here. And when we come out, we're going to be in New York City, the Big Apple.
Back in 1902, all the trains traveling through New York City were powered by steam locomotives. And the Park Avenue Tunnel in Manhattan was one of the most dangerous routes. So dangerous that it changed railroading forever. It was initially built to keep the black smoke from steam trains